graze quietly, the peaceful scene broken only by the distant call of a hawk. The camera slowly pans across familiar landmarks: the old barn, the creek where Amy once raced with her horses, and the big maple tree where so many family secrets have been shared. These visuals are accompanied by a gentle, suspenseful piano score, creating a feeling of nostalgia and mystery at the same time. A voiceover begins, soft and emotional. Heartland, a place where every horse has a story, and every heart has a memory. But this year, some memories return, and some stories take a turn you never expected. The scene cuts to faint flashes of faces partially hidden, out of focus, hinting at the return of old characters without fully revealing them. Each frame is quick, almost like a heartbeat, creating an immediate sense of intrigue. Text overlays appear subtly on the screen. Some familiar faces return to Heartland, followed by old bonds, old secrets. The combination of the visuals and text begins to tug at the viewer's emotions, reminding them of the many seasons they've followed, the highs and lows, and the deep connections with these characters. The music swells slightly as we see a quick montage of emotional past moments: Amy comforting a horse, Ty looking worried, Lou with a gentle smile, and a glimpse of a character you haven't seen for seasons. The camera focuses on a weathered fence post, a quiet reminder of the past, before cutting to a close-up of a horse's eye, reflecting the morning light. The voiceover continues, "In Heartland, every ending feels like a beginning, and every return has a reason." There's a beat of silence as the music pauses for just a moment, creating a subtle tension, as if the ranch itself is holding its breath for what's about to happen. Quick flashes of emotional moments follow: hands touching, eyes meeting across a field, a gentle laugh echoing in the barn, but they fade before the viewer can fully grasp who they belong to. The voiceover builds slightly in intensity. This season, the past is never far away, and some hearts are about to face what they've tried to forget. Finally, the screen cuts to black for a second. Then, just as the music begins to swell again, a shadowy figure steps into the light. It's someone the audience knows, someone whose return will spark excitement, emotion, and maybe even a little heartbreak. The first section closes on this cliffhanger, leaving viewers hooked, emotionally invested, and eager to see the next moment unfold. The screen opens to a storm rolling over the Heartland fields, dark clouds reflecting the turmoil brewing among the ranch's beloved families. Rain streaks across windows as inside, familiar faces sit in tense silence, the weight of unspoken words heavy in the air. The camera lingers on Amy, her hands trembling slightly as she holds a letter, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. A soft piano note hits, echoing the quiet heartbreak, and the voiceover begins. Every heart carries a story, some too fragile to speak, some too powerful to ignore. We cut to Ty, standing alone in the barn, brushing a horse with deliberate care, each movement mirroring the turmoil within him. The shadows across his face hint at struggles we haven't fully seen before. The voiceover continues, tinged with urgency. This season, choices will come that test every bond, every promise, every loyalty. Quick flashes of other characters appear: Lou pacing in worry, a tearful exchange between past friends, and the subtle glimmer of secrets that have resurfaced. Text overlays appear intermittently. Old wounds, new challenges, emotional storms await. Each line pulses on the screen as if matching the heartbeat of the audience, pulling them deeper into the drama. Horses gallop across wet fields, hooves pounding the earth, paralleling the rising tension among the characters. The camera slows on close-ups of eyes, sorrowful, anxious, and yet filled with determination, reminding viewers that every struggle at Heartland is deeply personal and deeply human. A sudden cut shows a family dinner disrupted. Words are spoken that can't be taken back. Hands clench in frustration, and a distant cry of a horse pierces the tension, almost echoing the pain of those present. The voiceover rises slightly in intensity. Hearts will break, loyalties will be tested, and what was thought buried may rise again. Rainwater drips slowly from the barn roof, symbolizing time passing and emotions mounting. Then, a fleeting moment of calm, a soft smile exchanged, a comforting hand on a shoulder, a shared glance that says more than words ever could. But the calm is brief. A shadow passes across the room, a hint of an old rival or returning face, leaving the audience questioning what will come next. The music swells with a melancholic yet hopeful undertone, capturing the delicate balance of heartbreak and love. The scene opens with a golden sunset spilling over Heartland's pastures, casting long shadows and bathing everything in a warm, almost magical glow. The wind gently rustles the leaves of the big maple tree, and the camera lingers on a familiar swaying slowly, empty but filled with memories. A soft, wistful violin begins to play, layering a sense of longing and nostalgia. The voiceover starts, tender and reflective. Some love never fades, some bonds are timeless, and some hearts always find their way back, no matter the distance or the years that have passed. A slow montage begins. Amy walking barefoot along a creek, remembering a whispered promise. Ty arriving at the ranch just as a horse gallops past, the same one they once trained together. Lou pausing by the barn, her gaze softening as she spots someone she thought she'd never see again. Every shot is drenched in golden light, emphasizing warmth, connection, and the magic of Heartland's past romances. The camera cuts to a fleeting touch, two hands brushing as they reach for the same reins. A fleeting smile exchanged under the fading sun. The voiceover grows slightly more emotional. Old sparks can reignite. Old feelings can find new life. And sometimes the heart remembers what the mind tries to forget. A close-up of intertwined hands appears, silhouetted against the sunset, as if signaling hope, intimacy, and the promise of love returning. Text overlays punctuate the emotion. Love returns. Old bonds awaken. Hearts reunite. These words appear softly, fading in and out as the camera glides through the ranch's familiar landscapes. Horses in slow motion trot across open fields, echoing the rhythm of rekindled connections. Every detail, from the gentle sway of hay in the barn to the sparkle of sunlight on a tear, adds depth to the emotion. A sudden but subtle shift hints at romantic tension. A shadow of a returning character standing in a doorway, their presence stirring both anticipation and uncertainty. The voiceover continues with quiet intensity. Some connections are unbreakable, but some choices may change everything. The music swells with a tender crescendo, pulling viewers into the anticipation of romance, reunion, and unresolved feelings. The screen opens to an old, weathered hallway in the Heartland farmhouse. Dust particles dancing in the sunlight streaming through a cracked window. The camera moves slowly, almost hesitantly, as if it senses the weight of history embedded in every corner. A faint echo of past laughter and whispered arguments drifts through the hall, layering the scene with nostalgia and suspense. The voiceover begins, low and mysterious. Some doors once closed are never truly locked, and some faces once gone are never really gone. We cut to a flickering montage. A familiar coat left on a chair, a forgotten letter peeking from a drawer, a horse's bridle untouched for seasons. Each object tells a story, reminders of old friendships, old rivalries, and old love. Shadows shift across the room as the camera focuses on the doorway, where a silhouette stands, barely visible, yet unmistakably someone from the past. The voiceover grows slightly urgent. This season, the past is not just a memory. It's a force that will challenge the present. Text overlays appear with subtle animation. Old faces, hidden secrets. The past comes alive. These words linger just long enough to spark curiosity, while rapid flashes of familiar characters, some smiling, some troubled, some returning unexpectedly, create a feeling of anticipation and surprise. A soft heartbeat sound underscores the montage, emphasizing that something significant is about to unfold. The music shifts to a low, suspenseful tone as the scene transitions to the ranch's stables. A horse pawing at the ground, sensing tension, mirrors the emotional unrest among the characters. Quick glimpses of hands gripping gates, eyes narrowing, and whispered names hint at long-buried secrets resurfacing. The voiceover whispers, almost conspiratorially, hearts will be tested, loyalties questioned, and what was left behind may no longer stay hidden. Then, A moment of stillness, a mysterious envelope placed on a table, a familiar voice calling a name from the shadows, a key turning slowly in an old lock. Each detail teases a revelation, leaving viewers wondering, who is back? What have they brought with them? And what secrets will change Heartland forever? Thunder rumbles across the Heartland fields, echoing the storm of emotions building inside the ranch. The camera sweeps through the property in a series of rapid, almost frantic shots, horses kicking up mud as they run, doors slamming in the farmhouse, and shadows moving in hallways, hinting at confrontations waiting to explode. The voiceover begins, tense and gripping. Every choice has a consequence. Every secret has a price. And this season, every heart will face its ultimate test. We see a montage of intense moments. Amy racing against time to save a horse. Caught in the storm, Ty standing frozen as he receives shocking news. Lou confronting someone from the past with tears in her eyes. Each scene is intercut with close-ups of expressions: anger, fear, hope, regret, amplifying the emotional tension. The music builds, blending the pounding of hooves with a swelling orchestral score, creating a heartbeat-like rhythm that pulls viewers deeper into the drama. Text overlays flash dramatically on the screen. Betrayal, heartbreak, unexpected returns. These words pulse with the music, each one landing like a jolt of adrenaline. Quick cuts reveal hidden glances between characters, whispered arguments, and moments where silence speaks louder than words. A horse whinnies in the distance, its call echoing like a warning as the tension peaks. The camera slows for a heartbeat, focusing on a single window where a figure watches silently. The voiceover drops to a low, almost haunting whisper. The past collides with the present, and nothing will ever be the same again. A storm breaks over the ranch, rain pouring down as characters face their fears, confront old rivals, and make decisions that will change everything. The visuals are a blur of emotion, running through mud-soaked fields, clenched fists, hurried footsteps, and hearts on the brink of breaking. Suddenly, a moment of shocking revelation. An envelope is torn open, a whispered confession escapes, a long-hidden secret comes to light. The camera pans across stunned faces, each one frozen in disbelief, fear, or sorrow. The voiceover rises, urgent and gripping. This is more than a season. This is the turning point. The moment when every story, every love, every loyalty is pushed to its limit. Ends with a slow-motion shot of Amy and Ty standing apart on a hilltop, rain dripping from their hair, hearts pounding, eyes locked. Lightning flashes across the sky, illuminating a figure in the distance, someone returning to shake everything the ranch thought it knew. The voiceover whispers one final chilling line for this segment. In Heartland, the storm never ends, it only reveals the truth. The screen cuts to black, leaving viewers breathless, anxious, and desperate to see the finale. The screen opens to the calm after the storm. Heartland's fields are wet, glistening under the soft glow of a rising moon. Mist curls across the pastures, and the wind carries a quiet sense of anticipation. The camera slowly pans over the barn, the creek, and the big maple tree, the landmarks of every Heartland memory. The music softens but remains hauntingly beautiful, with a gentle piano melody intertwined with the distant echo of a horse's whinny. The voiceover begins, tender yet gripping. Every story has an ending, but some endings are just the beginning of something greater. We see fleeting glimpses of characters. Amy tending to a horse, her hands steady but her eyes thoughtful. Ty standing in the doorway, shoulders tense, heart full. Lou looking out over the fields, a faint smile hiding worry. Shadows of returning characters flicker across the screen, hinting at alliances, surprises, and confrontations yet to come. The voiceover continues. This season, Heartland faces its greatest challenges, and every heart, every bond, will be tested like never before. Quick, emotional flashes punctuate the scene. A tearful hug, a whispered confession, a hand reaching for another in quiet reassurance. Text overlays appear with dramatic emphasis. The past returns. Secrets revealed. The end begins. Each phrase lingers for just a beat, letting the audience feel the weight of what's coming. Horses gallop across the moonlit fields, their hooves echoing the heartbeat of the ranch and the tension building in the story. A sudden slow-motion moment captures the most shocking return. A familiar silhouette steps into the moonlight, face still hidden, yet presence unmistakable. The voiceover drops to a whisper, almost reverent. Some returns change everything. Some choices define destiny, and some truths cannot be ignored. The camera pulls back to reveal the sprawling ranch under the stars, vast and full of promise, danger, and emotion. Finally, the music swells to a crescendo as the Heartland logo fades onto the screen. The voiceover delivers the final, unforgettable line, "Heartland Season 20, the end begins." Are you ready to face a story that changes everything? Text overlays urge the audience subtly. Subscribe now for exclusive previews. Don't miss a single moment. The screen slowly fades to black, leaving viewers emotionally charged, heart racing, and desperate to watch the full season.